Maddie, come on. We gotta record. Get your mic, headphones on. Come on, Maddie. Smooth your Maddie. Maddie.
Give me my phone back.
Who are you talking to?
To you.
No, you're not. So, one of the changes that we've had is, come on, put your headphones on, is that Miss Maddox now has a cell phone. Tell them how you got a cell phone. Where'd you get it from?
I got it for,
It wasn't that long ago.
I know.
Is that cell phone killing your brain cells or something?
I got it from just for example, if you're in the mall.
No, when did you get your cell phone?
On Christmas.
Okay, I was wondering why you were struggling with that. Yeah, so Maddox got a cell phone on Christmas. How long did you want a cell phone?
For at least 2.5 years.
Mind you, she's had an iPad. Now, we're not one of those families who are like, kids shouldn't have devices. And listen, I've yet to find an adult that's like, you had a device too early, right? And that's just not our thing. If it is your thing, that's great. I do see a lot of benefits from it. And there are times where I'm like, yeah, I wish she didn't have this in her room. I wish she didn't have this early on. I wish we did these things differently early on. And I see why people say do it differently early on. However, Maddox now has a cell phone, and it feels like it's almost like having another child. I have to make sure the cell phone's not lost. This is something she's not used to having. The iPad mainly was in the car and in the house, but this is different now. And it was my idea. Dad, I mentioned it to him on a whim, and he was like, you know what? Okay, because Maddox is growing. And how old are you now?
10 in
And
double digits.
Yes, 10, double digits. I had to write this down because I didn't want to forget. So, even though Maddox is 10 and she got her first cell phone, according to the Child Mind Institute, 42% of children have a cell phone by age 2. Yes, read that one. What's the percentage of kids that have a cell phone by age 12?
Dude, I don't know how you wrote this.
So, y'all, if y'all look at season 1, you see the episode about my handwriting. Go ahead.
71% of the world
Of the world.
the world of age 12 at age 12 has a phone.
Yeah, so
And
71% of children by the age of 12 have a cell phone. And read the rest.
And 91% of children have their phone at 14.
So by the age of 14, 91% of kids have cell phones. And thank you very much for reading that. And again, we got that from the Child Mind Institute. It all depends on your child, your situation. And yes, there are moments where I'm like Maddox. But it's just not like that on the cell phone. And actually how it works with her is Maddie, and then it goes to Maddox. And then typically something dramatic like me snatching, throwing something happens, and then she wakes up. But it's not just with a cell phone. It's other things as well. Are you happy that you have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Why?
Actually, I don't even know why I'm excited. Okay. So I really wanted a cell phone, as you know. Plenty. It felt like a decade I haven't had a phone. But mind you, I had a phone when I was at least how old was I? It was plenty of years ago, at least at 4.
7 years ago.
Yes, 7 years ago, that's when I had a phone.
Okay, correction. So she didn't have a phone. We had an extra phone before they changed the upgrade plans, and they just corporate greed, and they just don't want nobody to be happy with their cell phone plans or cell phone usage. Don't even get me into we can't even get another charger with these new phones. A different story. But we had an extra cell phone because we upgraded, and so we let her use the phone. And actually for her, one of Maddox's first word was apple. And
I thought it was hot dog.
Well, I'm sorry. Second word was apple. Yeah, she did say hot dog. It was just like on a whim. Like, she wasn't saying hot dog all the time, but she just was like, hot dog. And that was from, we watched Mickey Mouse. But her second first word was apple, because she got that A from apple. So we used it really for educational with her at that time. However, what we do is that we have limits. I always say I didn't want to be that parent, because remember, at first you used to be able to have your iPad when you had school.
Mm-hmm.
But sis got a little crazy. She was rushing through her work. She was like, I gotta get my iPad. And I said, you know what? I didn't think I was gonna be that parent. So Maddox only can have her iPad or her devices.
Both.
You only can have, when can you have it? When can you be on your iPad?
Every single weekend or off days of school. Well, it depends on off days of school. If it's during the school week, then no. If it's like on the weekend and it's off days, yeah.
Yeah. So, and also for her, again, everybody is different, but for her, we spend a lot of time in school. And when school is done, you're on the court or you're in the field. So, and it's something like every day, like even on the weekend. So she doesn't have all this ample time to be on these devices. But also as a parent, I told her, what was one of the things I told you when you got your phone? I was going to do. Check it. Remember, mommy said she was going to check your phone?
Oh yeah. I was like, the only thing I remember was when I was playing games and you were like, this is not what you have a phone for.
Yes.
That's what I remember.
So, of course, I went through the phone to make sure she can't purchase nothing, because she has a purchase history pass. Like, purchasing across the board. Phones, cables. So, I had to make sure that wasn't possible.
Cables? Phones?
Yes. I went through a whole bout with the cable. Also, I, made sure YouTube, it's actually her YouTube on her phone is the Mommy and Maddox account. And so that account has restriction. And I was going to really look into other services that are going to monitor. And there's a service that's very popular that a lot of people use called BART, which is against child predators. And that's something you should really, really look at. They have other ones. Actually, somebody's supposed to tell me about the other one, but I just know of BART right now. And that's the biggest one. And so, man, you definitely want to make sure you check your phone. Like, I go through the phone, I'm like, oh, Lord. Maddox she's younger at this point. Like, it's not as active. I'm probably going to have to do BART, a whole team of prayer mothers, as well as two pit bulls and a shotgun when she gets older. But right now, she only texts us like one or maybe two people. And we know the parents, and so I'm heavily monitoring her phone, but this has opened up a whole other window. Some parents, they want them to have their phones at school. They want them to have their phones on the bus. And
the reason about that is because.
Go ahead.
Oh, the reason is that because if they might not be there, they want them to let them know that if they're doing okay, if school is good. Because some parents aren't there to pick them up.
How about for anything happening at the school?
Oh yeah, and if for example, if a fire went on, you let your parents know. And if something dangerous happening too, or if your parents is not there, then that's the reason why they have fun.
Yeah, and that's how parents, they want it, and I again, no problem with that. And there's just so many different things that go into this conversation, but this is just what we're talking about right But yeah, and so, but my thing is definitely is using your cell phone in class, and we're not there yet because she's not bringing it to school. That's a whole nother episode. That may be season 5 or 7. But yeah, so I'm taking it day by day. This is something new for me, and even again, this is something new for me. Typically Sunday afternoon, early afternoon. She has school on Monday. The phone is gone. She has to read. You know, my rule is you have to do what you need to do before you do what you want to do. And so once you check your boxes that you did everything, then you have time to be on your phone and have leisure time. So I hope this was informational. Is that a word? Informational. Informative.
I never heard of
informational. I just made it up. Look at me. Informational. Hope this was informative. Don't you say informational. I will not get an email from your teacher saying you said that. But yes, so please understand that. I hope that this was informative. And this is just open up a conversation, and once, just so that parents know and you get to hear about what we're all doing and what we're all struggling with. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please check us out. Please subscribe. Where do you subscribe at?
Miss Maddox.
Maddox is still on it. She is not going to promote.
And also, hit that like button.
You're not going to promote.
Hit that like button.
You're not going to promote the YouTube channel of the podcast. That's all you talk about is Miss Maddox.
I will never.
The Mommy and Maddox podcast is on both. Okay, it is on Miss Maddox YouTube channel that she doesn't talk about. Okay, first of all, I talk to people at school. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know she had a podcast. I didn't know she had a YouTube channel." They don't know nothing. Maddox is not on any type of self-promotion at all. But anyway, please make sure we're everywhere podcasts could be heard. Thank you so much for listening. And again, we hope this was informational. Have a good one.
Hope. Deuces.